Hello, this is Franklyn Wepner again. This time is we're doing another Gestalt session. This one is very special. This is a DreamWork session, much more ambitious than what we did so far. We don't know if this video is going to be on the net either at all, so we're just going to allow ourselves to be as free as we like, and we can always edit out or cancel, not even put the whole thing on the net.
We'll see.
We'll
see.
decide.
Otherwise, so far there hasn't been any problems.
So far, this guy's been very, how should we say, honest and risky, you know, with allowing himself to, because we're always on this red line here, you know, because that costume symbolizes a particular world that this man takes very seriously. He's not just wearing that
Absolutely.
for the fun of it. So he's trying to find a balancing act between being true faithful to that drummer and also another drummer that brings him here. Okay, so that's one issue we're dealing with here. I want to say just a little bit about DreamWork. I was just telling him, when I think back on my life, I started maybe age 16 or so with my trombone doing Dixieland jazz in high school. And that was my introduction to the world of improvising. And this process we're doing now, if I think about it, in terms of art or in terms of the arts or in terms of maybe even healing, whatever, is the ultimate improv. Because in this process, your whole life is the instrument. And when you work with a dream, you're working with an endless source of material. As far as you want to go with it, doesn't mean you have to go that far with it, but it's sitting there. And there's so many possibility directions where it could go, because I don't know what he's going to tell me a dream in another minute, and I have no idea what the dream is. I purposely didn't ask him what it's going to be beforehand, so I wouldn't be prepared. It should be an improv. So in that sense, it's an improv. And it fits in right in with all the different theater techniques. For example, Michael CHEKHOV is always telling actors to trust your talent. And what he means by talent is exactly this dialectical process that underlies the KABBALAH, or the phenomenology of the spirit, or Stanislavski, the same thing. It's all over the place. And this process here is exactly that. Trusting, when CHEKHOV says trust your talent, he's talking about trusting, well, see, how do I put it? One way to think of it is, you know, in the Kabbalah there are 4 worlds. And the idea is that they call it tripping also, by the way, that when we're doing this process, we're kind of like playing around consciously with the 2 lower worlds, the world of the body, or the world of the soul, and where we can manipulate variables to set up oppositions, and then we trust that somehow or other stuff is going to come from the next world up, the world of spirit, what they call lumbria, and somehow, and the way CHEKHOV talks about that, he says you can't force the creativity, but what you can do is coax it. You can coax these pure ideas, and this is what he means. This is what we're doing here. We're working with all kinds of personal stuff, setting up conversations, and we don't know. It's a guess, and we're coaxing. We're hoping that somehow or other these pure ideas are going to find their way in, from the mind of God, you might say, into the world into our world, if you want to look at that process in a religious way, or from an artistic point of view. We're tripping here and just hoping that something's going to come out of the clear blue here. Okay, so that's a little bit of theory. I just want to remind this guy here that to protect myself, even though he signed it, that even though we're doing Gestalt Dreamwork, legally we're not doing therapy. He signed a form saying that we understand that this is not therapy and that I am not licensed to do therapy. I do not have a license to do this. I've been doing it 38 years with maybe close to 700 people already, but we're not calling it therapy, we're calling it some kind of active training or creativity or whatever you want to call it. Okay, spiritual search, all right? But we are working with real dreams, real dreams. And I'll repeat that he's free to censor, protect his privacy. The more you share with us, the more we have to work with. The less you're free to lie, and you know, it's up to you what you do with it, with this work.
I'm not a very good liar. I don't lie well. You'll be able to tell on my face if I'm lying.
Okay. I usually do three sessions like this with a performer, where we kind of know that probably he's got these 3 hours today and 3 hours. The next time we do this, if we do it next time, and that might be as much material as we have to work with for like half a year or something. So it's up to him how he wants to use that time. All right, that's enough basic information. All right, so here we go. Instead of starting with what are you aware of now, we start with a dream. If you have a dream for us, do you have a dream for us?
I have a bit of a dream, yes.
Okay, it could even be a fragment of a dream, it could be anything. So, what is it? First step is to tell the dream in the present tense, all right?
So I'm dreaming now.
As though it's happening now, yeah.
I'm totally relaxed at the beach with my wife.
I guess that you should mostly be
Yeah.
telling it to them, and
Okay,
then
fine,
three
fine.
quarters to them and 1/4 to me.
Okay, so let me just start again. I'm at the beach, totally relaxed with the waves and the sound of the ocean, laying in the sand with my wife, just the two of us. Wonderful hot sun. Our toes are down by the foam, you know, the water that rushes up with each wave, but just that shallow bit of water, which is so nice and warm and calming in itself. And we never really go by ourselves, so it's really quite an interesting dream that somehow we found time to be with ourselves and just minus our 4 children and enjoying ourselves. And laying in the sun, which my wife thoroughly enjoys and never gets to do. And I'm okay with it. I'm not a big sun person. But just out there enjoying it. But there's one interesting thing I haven't told you yet.
Yeah.
We're without our bathing suits. It's not something I would do in a regular sense, but it's a reoccurring dream. And it's interesting.
It's a reoccurring dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
I often wonder if it's also part of a daydream as well, because we both would like to do such a thing, I think. I mean, if that's my wife, but I think so, just to be able to lay out on the beach, fully suntan, and just be carefree.
So in a dream you're feeling carefree.
Yeah, carefree and warm.
By the way, I just want to make it clear, in case you haven't seen any of these sessions before, my job mostly in this work is to take notes, because I'm feeding it back to him. It's very important that we have the log, the feedback. I'm also paying attention and trying to get, it's a balancing act, trying to get as much down as I can on paper. Okay, go on.
We're there together. And
Yeah.
I was explaining the sensations, you know, the water on.
So the two of you are alone on the beach?
That's correct.
Okay.
And we're laying on the sand, and our toes feeling the water come in, the warm water come in, and fully aware of the sounds of the ocean and the tremendous warmth of the sun on a nice sunny day here in Israel. The sun can be quite intense, and the Mediterranean we would be by, you know, really on the ocean, not on something like the Kinneret. And just really enjoying ourselves. Mom, it's really, really, really enjoying ourselves in such a way. And I think the sensation borderlines a little bit on sensual, without there being any specific actions that follow along with that. It's a rather short dream, but I have it all the time, and I often think of actually doing it. We never seem to be able to find a time for such an activity.
Okay. This is very amazing. Isn't that amazing? I was telling you about the process yesterday, was it, on the phone?
Yes.
And I was saying, you know, one of the first things you might do when you work on a dream is to play the environment. I said, for example, what if you had a dream about the beach, you know? And here's a dream. I had no idea who was going to come up with a dream about the beach. This is incredible.
Well, you know, I get to the beach only a few times a year, but it's a memory that lasts the whole year for me.
Yeah, but this is amazing that and so here's your chance. Okay, so let's say you are the beach, all right?
Right.
It's one way to begin to work on a dream is to take the environment and to identify. By the way, so the theory here, a dream, according to the theory, is a bunch of projections of your life. And just like in the Michael CHEKHOV technique, it's as though you radiate out these rays, and what you want to do is to identify, become one with the different elements. And here we have a beautiful example of what CHEKHOV would call an atmosphere. The atmosphere is the encompassing environment. It's a beach. All right. So now you're going to identify with this, as though you radiated out a ray of an atmosphere of a beach, and now you're going to be the beach. Okay. Now, what could that mean? How could you say I'm the beach, and how could you explore that idea?
I'm the beach, waves crashing on me. I'm the beach.
Wait, no, what I meant was you are this entire scenario.
Ah, the whole scenario. I
Yeah.
thought you meant I was physically the beach.
No, you are this scenery, or what do you want to call it?
Right.
The
No, I
setting?
like the scenery. No, the scenery is very good because this is a very scenic.
By beach, I mean the entire scenario.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
You have to,
I am the beach.
so I'm at the beach.
No, you're not at the beach. You are the beach.
I am the beach.
Yeah.
I am the beach. So I have the sights of the beach, which means the waves undulating up and down.
So I have in me there are sights.
In me there are sights of the beach, which include the waves undulating up and down.
My waves.
My waves, but they're rhythmic. They're rhythmic. They have a.
So say this. I have rhythmic
I
waves.
have rhythmic waves.
Yes.
And they have a period, you know, a timing. They have sound.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you're really at the beach, you can see the waves.
So again, you keep avoiding. You need to identify if these are projections. Each of these projections that the dream work deals with is a part of yourself, part of your powers. And by identifying, you have an opportunity to take those powers back.
Okay, so let's
So, but
just zone in on this a little bit. So,
Yeah.
so I see the waves, but the waves they're just not just going up and down.
So my waves are going up
Yeah,
and down.
but more important, the waves are approaching. What do I mean by that? Is you see waves coming, they're going up and down, but as they get closer and closer to the beach, they form surf.
Okay.
And they come crashing down onto the sand.
So my waves are crashing.
Yeah, with force.
Say that. My waves.
My waves are crashing.
Say that again. My waves.
My waves are crashing.
Now, how do you feel about having crashing waves as part of you?
They're exhilarating.
Say that. I am exhilarated.
I am exhilarated by these crashing waves.
By my crashing
By
waves.
my crashing waves.
Okay, I'm just writing it down. My waves are crashing.
Did you write down that they're pulsating?
Okay, crashing, good enough. I'm exhilarated. Okay, now that already gives us something we can explore, okay, physically, yeah?
Yes.
So I'll get out of your way here, and let's move the chairs away, and I want you to be these crashing waves, whatever that means to you, okay?
Interesting, okay. Thought of that. Obviously.
And what kind of noise do you make as crashing waves?
Oh, I don't know about the noises. I'll try. Give me a moment. I don't know. I'm going to try to undulate. Let's see.
Do it! Okay. Noise. Remember what we said about the sound coming from your throat being open? Remember? The breath is always open. That's it. Now put the beach over here on top of the camera so that we can see your face.
Better.
Okay?
Okay.
Again, I told you.
The difficult dynamic here is I want a higher crashing sound to open. Let's try.
So like this.
Oh, that's good.
All right.
That's good. Thank you. Woo!
There we go.
Woo!
There we go.
Woo! Woo!
that to everybody out here. I'm crashing on you.
I'm crashing in the waves.
I'm crashing
and
on
I'm
you.
Crashing on you. And I'm coming into foam on the beach.
Say that to everybody in the world. I'm crashing on you.
I'm crashing on you.
Do it again now. Woo!
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. So maybe I'll just stay over here for a second.
Okay.
So how do you feel crashing on all the world like that with that energy? You like that energy?
Powerful. It's powerful. Water has, these waves has weight and form and tremendous energy.
Okay. You know, I'm having for the first time in many years, I'm saying to myself, if we're videoing this thing, maybe I shouldn't bother with the notes.
You have a video tape
Rely on
you
the
can play
video,
back.
and I
Okay.
can always play it back. It'll take a lot of work to do that, but I think I'll have to
Okay.
do it, because I think this DreamWork session is very important. Okay, so again, so how do you feel about crashing on the world?
It's lots of energy, and it's a release of
Do
energy.
you like having a lot of energy?
Yes.
Can you risk having a lot of energy?
I have energy all the time. It's not a risk for me.
Okay, do it one more time.
Okay.
I'm crashing on you, world.
I'm crashing on you, world. I'm crashing away. Woo!
Do it again.
Woo!
You were doing that to the floor. Do
Okay,
it
okay,
together
let me try
now.
again.
I'm crashing on you,
I'm
world.
crashing on you, world. Woo! Woo!
Okay, very good. Now be the world.
The world, wow.
Now let's see how you can do that. So how about you stay on this side, on that side.
Okay.
Yeah. And put the world on that side. Wait, you'll be
Well,
the
the
world.
waves on this side be the
Yeah,
world on this
You're
side.
the world, okay?
Okay.
And imagine the waves are crashing from this side.
Right, okay.
And replay the movie, watch those waves crashing,
Okay.
all the energy. Face to a little bit, one third.
Okay, a little bit. I want to make sure I get the camera too on me.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now,
Okay.
watch
Okay.
listen to yourself, watch
Okay.
yourself doing that, all right?
Okay.
Now you're the world.
Okay.
Well,
the world.
Well, first of all, watch
Okay,
it.
I'm watching. Okay.
How does it feel to watch that display of energy and power?
It's pretty overwhelming.
Tell him, you are overwhelming.
You are overwhelming.
What's your,
The waves are crashing on me.
what do you call yourself? Aharon Chaim.
Aharon Chaim.
Tell
Yeah.
him, Aharon Chaim, you are overwhelming. Tell him.
Aharon Chaim, you are overwhelming.
Again.
Aharon Chaim, you are overwhelming.
Tell him how he's overwhelming.
You're crashing these giant waves on me, one after the other and another, not stopping.
Now tell me something. Are you worried you might overdo it?
No. No, when we're talking about things that are in balance in nature.
Yeah.
You know, the wave takes away the sand, it deposits it in one place and it comes back.
Okay.
It's balanced.
Okay. Good. Do it again. Go over there and now be the waves and crash
Okay.
on the world.
Okay. And do I want to move this time or do I want to stay in one
Do the
place?
same thing again. Just.
Okay.
I am crashing.
I am crashing on you. I am crashing on you. I'm crashing on you.
Okay. Now again, react to what he just did.
Aaron Chaim, you're crashing on me so much.
And how do you feel about that?
It's
Tell him.
overwhelming, Aaron Chaim. Overwhelming.
What else can you say? Is that good or bad that he's overwhelming?
It might deplenish me. It might replenish me. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about
Aaron
it.
Chaim, I'm not sure about you, and I'm not sure about this process.
Tell him again.
Aaron Chaim, I'm not sure about you, and I'm not sure about this process.
Okay. Are you sure? Yeah. Well, what's your anxiety here?
He might smash me into obliteration.
So in other words, part of your nature is that you need to be sure about certain things.
That's right, for sure.
Yeah?
Yep.
Is
Here's
it-
a cliche. For
Yeah.
sure, I like to be
In
sure
other
about
words,
things.
if this guy gets to a point where you can't somehow be sure and control him, you might get worried, right?
Yeah, that would bring a lot of anxiety.
Yeah. Tell him
Sure.
about that limit. Just tell him just how far you let him go.
Aaron Chaim, with these waves, if you obliterate me, I'll be nothing. I'll be just the little sand particles. There'll be nothing left of me.
Now I'm having an association here. This guy just walked into this. here's an imaginary audience here who might see this thing, right?
Right.
And you just introduced a dream about you and your wife naked on the beach, right?
That's correct.
Right. That's pretty hot stuff, right?
Well, I used the word without swimming attire, but okay, one and the same.
Why don't you say something like, you better watch yourself. How far, you know, there's just so far I'm going to let you go. How about something like that?
All right, let me think for a moment.
Does it say, fit to say, you know?
Yeah, I'm a little more obtuse about these things, but should be a little more careful there, Chaim. I have my limits.
I'm going to control you. How about that?
I'm going to control you. I'm not going to allow you to get so far. What are you doing?
Just tell him how far he can go.
Chaim, you can only go to a certain line, and that's it.
Now, what's the line? Is that the sans?
I don't know what the line is.
Hassidic line?
I don't know if that plays in here.
What?
I don't know if that plays in here. If that's in there in this.
What would the Rebbe say about what he's doing?
Oh, that would be bad news. I don't know. I want to discuss that right now.
Okay,
but remember, I said at the very beginning, it's a dream. It's a fantasy. It's something that hasn't happened.
Okay. So as long as we're on a level of fantasies here,
right,
you can play around with your fantasies, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All
Can try.
Okay. All right. So, but we're beginning to see some of the range of the limits here. You know, that's some of the possible dangers, right?
Maybe.
And how you need to stay in control to a certain extent, right?
Within reason.
Within reason. Within reason, right?
Yeah.
So
it's sacral. Yeah, with the brain.
Right. So we talked about that need to control with your mind. We've seen that part of yourself before, haven't we? Right.
Right.
Remember that guy?
Right.
Remember,
but the whole idea here
yeah,
is about allowing myself to possibly, at least in my mind, be on the beach, relax without cares.
I want to see something about this second camera. Hold on a
Okay.
second. I want to see if I can raise this. Go to the center there.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, right there. Yeah, I still see your head. It's okay. We can, as long as we stay in the back half of the.
Okay.
Right. So I remember this guy. All right, move over.
Okay, sure.
If you look back at the previous video, I remember this guy that spent most of his time for 2 hours in that video in this pose, right? Remember
Frozen.
that? Yeah.
With the smile. You don't have my smile.
Yeah,
Oh, there we go. Now you got me better.
This-
Characterized.
You remember this guy?
Yeah, I mean, he's part of me. I mean, how can I forget him?
Right, now what are you doing? And I asked you, what is this pose? What are you doing? I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Remember you said?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking. All right, so we have this need on your part to control, and part of it ties in with your rational side. What?
Extremely rational.
Got to control the other side.
Right.
Right?
Extremely rational.
But the other side, but somehow you don't keep them so under control, because here you take this huge risk of bringing this dream about you and your wife naked on the beach. I mean, God, you could have brought in about a dream about you and your wife cooking latkes together on Hanukkah, right?
Well, it's next week, you know. I mean, when I start thinking about it.
But
you know?
here's this guy that likes to be right on the edge here, right?
Yeah,
Right.
my whole life.
My whole life. Right, he told, I don't, was this in the stream? You told me about climbing Mount McKinley? No.
No, that's not in reality.
Oh,
but there's a thing about ice climbing.
Then the ice climbing,
Right,
we
right.
saw that in the previous stream, about
Right.
ice climbing. Yeah, he keeps putting yourself in these really far out situations where then you scare yourself to death, right?
Literally, yes, and sometimes quite figuratively, yeah.
All right, that's interesting. Now we're standing here. I wonder if we should. All right, let's sit down again.
Okay.
All right, so you see how much mileage we got out of even one little input.
Segment, right? One segment out of it.
We just took the atmosphere of the beach, and we already learned an enormous amount just from.
Right.
You see why it's so important. These Chekhov talks about the atmospheres, very important, encompassing elements of the dream. We haven't even got to the characters yet. You know, the characters, the individual characters, well, there's you and your wife, but in dream work, everything is a character. According to the theory of the dream work, according to Fritz Perls, if you keep working on a dream for the next 100 years, you'll eventually cure all the problems of your life. You'll get to, if he was religious, you'd say you get to Mashiach. I mean,
Why not?
there's no limit to how much you can keep working on any one projection or in this process. It's endless phenomenology of the spirit. So, for example, what would be an interesting object in this to work on next?
Possibly the sun. We didn't really talk about that yet.
The
But
sun.
it's very much in there. I already
The sun's
described
in
it
the-
indirectly.
Okay, so you'd be the sun, okay? So now, if you're going to be the sun, now you want to act out being the sun in this dream, okay?
Okay.
Now, how would you act that out? I guess now we're going to move around. We'll move away again, okay?
It'd be interesting act out. Okay.
Okay, and you're going to start off. I am the sun in this dream, all right? And if you're the sun in this dream, who could you be talking to? To Aaron, maybe, huh? Aaron.
I could be talking to the sand first.
You want to talk to the sand?
And the water
Okay,
and
we'll have a
everything.
conversation between the sun and the sand, all right?
You know this.
So I am the sun
I am the sun.
in this dream.
In this dream, I control the movements because of my heating during the day. The
You're talking
water's...
to the sand, by the way. So
Well, yeah, but I want to be sure that sand is out there.
Yeah,
Come
put
on,
the sand out
yeah,
there,
the sand
right,
is right
okay.
there, no problem.
not too low because they want to see your eyes. Okay?
But I'm the sand, and I heat.
No, you're the sun right now.
No, I'm sorry. I'm the sun
Yeah.
talking to the sand out there.
To you, sand.
And I want you to know, son, I spend my whole day heating you up. And you get so hot, you thank me by radiating it back up towards me, towards the sky, towards the Shemayim. And water, because of my heating of you, you start moving, you get agitated, you start moving around.
Okay, now be the sand. How are you going to be the sand?
Oh, that's a little tricky. We have two tricks to it. One is my mind thinking about, well, that's not so hard. But they're going to have a bit of a problem with the cameras if I lay
let's see,
down.
how can we do it? I got an idea. Maybe this would work. I don't know if it'll work. Let's just be the sand for now. Just sit here. Let's see if the camera sees you. Sit in that chair facing the wall.
Facing the wall.
Yeah. Work? That's pretty good. Okay, so now I am the sand.
I am the sand.
And talk to that sun up there.
Sun,
Look up there.
sun,
Yeah. And you just heard what that sun said.
you know, you don't think about me at night. You say you make me hot during the day, but at night, I'm really cold. That moon might give a little bit of light, but it doesn't give any warmth.
Uh-huh.
And then by the day, you start off slowly, slowly. Oh, I feel a little warm. Ah, get that chill going. I'm really starting to feel warm now. The next thing I know, I'm hot! I'm really hot!
So now tell the sun what you would like from the sun.
Can't you keep yourself at a modest angle all day? Why don't you start nice and slow?
Remember in Gestalt, we don't want to use questions because it makes
Okay.
the process doesn't work so well. So I want that you would be keep me warm.
I want that you'd keep me a nice temperature all day. That your angle would stay fairly constant. You know, I love the beautiful paint you give me every morning and every evening. As you come up, there's incredible colors, orange and blues, you name it. As you go down, the same thing. Why can't I would like to have it all day.
Okay, switch. Now the sun, and now take a moment. There's 3 steps here. First of all, you hear what he says. And second of all, you let it land, you let it process you let it sink in. And then when you're ready, you react, okay? You don't have to rush as long as you make sure you get communication, okay?
Sand, I hear what you say. You say I make you too hot. What do you want from me?
No questions.
Okay, let's try that again.
Mm-hmm.
Sand, I hear what you say, you make me too hot. That's who I am.
What do you mean that's who I am?
I get up in the morning,
Yeah,
I start off low,
yeah.
and before I know it, I'm way up high above you, and my full warmth is coming down on you. That's the way it is.
That's the way I am.
That's the way I am.
Again, that's the way I am.
That's the way I am.
Okay, very important in this process to see how much of this stuff you can identify. When you identify, you're taking back some of the power that you projected onto this image, Right. So now, as the sun, you projected a certain amount of power. Can you identify with this idea of some kind of a creature that gets warming up and warms up to get so hot that sometimes people get upset?
Right.
Can you identify with that?
Listen, we all discover
Yeah.
as little children, and we remember as adults,
Yeah.
you know, it feels great to walk on the sand. Those first couple of steps, and afterwards your feet are on fire.
Wait, I don't think you understood. Can you identify with being this sun?
Oh, with the sun, I'm sorry.
I am this
I'm
sun
projecting.
that gets hotter and hotter and hotter until you gotta watch out, I'll burn you.
I think the sun reminds me, okay,
Yeah,
a little bit of myself, but of many, many people
yeah.
that they're boiling. And you see them, sometimes you can feel it, sometimes you see in their face.
Can you identify with being a person that sometimes gets so hot that people say, hey, cool it, buddy?
I can identify with having experienced that
Yeah.
lately.
Yes?
Last
What?
half a year or so.
In other words, you're
I've
getting hotter
cooled
and hotter.
No, just the opposite.
What?
I've managed to moderate my temperature,
Ah.
my emotional temperature and my physical temperature.
So you're learning as you get older to moderate it.
More so in the more recent history. I
So
would
say
say.
that to the sand. Sand, I'm cooling it now. I'm
Sand,
not going to threaten you so much.
Sand, I'm not going to threaten you so much. I've got a cooler temperature. I can keep my radiance full, Sand, but not burn you, not scorch you.
Uh-huh. Now, can you say that to your wife also?
Yeah, she knows it.
Well, say it to her. Imagine she's here. She's sitting in the chair, okay? Wifey, how do you call her? Or you want to, I don't know if you want to
No,
use
no problem. I call her Ima.
Ima. I'll call her Ima, which in Hebrew means mother. Okay, go on.
But it means mother in a nice way. In
This is
English,
what-
it can be taken as
This
a
is
bad
the way the
connotation.
Hasidim use the word when they're talking in front of their children, so that the people...
Children, 24/7.
Yeah, okay. So
After
say
you're
this
blessed with
to your wife, to Ima here, what you just said, okay?
Ima, haven't you noticed that even sometimes the color of my face might get red? It might be warning of anger, but my words are calmer.
Can you see an image of
My
her?
actions
Can you
are-
see an image of her?
Yeah, I can see.
Put her eyes right out here, okay? And talk to her, right where the red light of the camera
Right,
is.
I understand.
All right?
Ima, we've had this conversation a couple of times in very recent history that you've noticed I'm calmer. You don't know what I'm doing sometimes to make myself calmer, but you've noticed the end result and that my temperature, I keep wanting to use Hebrew, I'm going to think in Hebrew, English, my temperature has been generally calmer.
You can use the Hebrew word, but then after that say the translation,
Okay.
Go on.
But my temperature, my attitude has been better. Much more, and Ima, your attitude has been more positive too, both ways.
Uh-huh.
It's very good. I'm not like this raging sun anymore.
But so now you're not radiating at all? Or?
No, raging.
Not raging.
No, radiating equally, but more of it is warmth of love and not of confusion and anger.
Uh-huh. You notice you're wearing your usual smile here.
Yeah, I know, what can I do?
Is that smile saying, don't take me seriously, or do take me seriously?
No, that smile says take me seriously.
Can you do it without the smile?
I can
Try it. See her in the air and say it without, because we know that smile of yours a lot of times is a mask, right?
Maybe. You
It's not
suspect
the first
that.
session we've had, right?
Oh, that's correct.
Okay?
Let me think. Hang on.
Can you say it without the mask? Mhm.
Ima,
Yeah, now you're becoming more believable.
you see me, my face still sometimes gets very red, like the bright sun. But you hear my words are much calmer. And my temperature,
Look at her, not at me.
my temperature, I'm looking at her, she's right there.
Okay.
You don't see her? You're going to fix your glasses. I see her right there.
I'm going to move over so I don't get
Okay.
confused. All right, come
Okay. And my demeanor, my attitude in general, especially the last 6 months to a year, has been much more positive. And likewise as yours. Our temperatures are more moderate, but we're still radiating lots of heat, but heat of warmth, of love, and working more on good trust.
Okay, good. Now play Ima. Sit in the chair there.
Now this is very hard for me to do.
Okay, take your time. Remember, Ima just heard Abba talking. Abba means father, I guess. If she's Ima, then you must be Abba.
Yeah,
right?
she calls me Abba.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I think you're right. I'm not sure, but things are better. I But you know, I have so much to do. In so few minutes. I gotta run to the laundry. And I have to have my rest, my nap, so...
Okay, you know something, as I'm watching, I think we should now move the chairs back this way. Let's do it this way. Put the other chair there.
Yeah, but you know, there's a very good technique about this. I don't have to worry about my facial smile or whatever, but okay, we'll try.
So here we go, it's between you and Ema, right?
Okay, should I go, let me
So
sit down.
put her there now.
Okay, so I'm gonna take still the role of my wife here.
Yeah, you wanna put the wife there, and you wanna be there?
Yeah, but I was confused, I thought I was talking to, oh no, she's talking to me now, that's right, that's right.
This is Ema.
This can be a moment to, not to shift gears, but think
Take
now.
your time, take your time.
Excuse me.
That's why I work 3 hours on a dream, to give us time. You know, I'm not worried about the 50-minute hour and the $500 bill I could send you.
Right.
I'm dealing
500.
I'm dealing with...
That's not even New York prices, that's discount, that must be spot discount price.
All right.
Okay, bargain basement at, I
Okay.
forgot the place, that's okay. Vines in Boston. All right, let me switch gears here, okay. Abba, you're right. I see a bit of a positive change. And you're not yelling. I'm not sure to believe you. But you know, time is going.
Now, it's a little confusing here. Maybe the best way is to somehow put the image of her here, okay? Because we got a problem with the camera. See
That's
her
right.
here,
Okay,
and when you're here, you see him there. See if that works, all right?
okay.
And we're adopting this DreamWork procedure, this GESTALT procedure to working with cameras, and I don't really have a precedent. I haven't seen
Okay.
people do this on the
Okay, so we'll
internet.
try.
Go on.
So Abba, I believe you, but I don't have much time for this. I have to do the laundry and the dishes and sponge, wash the floor. I don't have time, but we might continue another time. Yeah, I have to go now, but I feel better.
Now switch. Again, take time to let it land, process it, and when you're ready, then you talk, okay? And the important thing is to make sure you're getting communication. So it's not just a game, it's real, okay?
Ema, it's good that you acknowledge me, you hear me, and it's only a few minutes, but we need to do more, and more time. Before the kids are asleep, maybe by 9 o'clock and it's quiet, but I'm exhausted. And you have to just not worry about the laundry and the dishes.
You notice you said you have to? Do you mean you have to? See, that's a way of speaking, you know, that doesn't allow any...
Doesn't allow a choice, yeah, a way out.
Are you coming on that you have to, or is that just a way of speaking somehow or other?
No, I think it's a,
Are you claiming that kind of authority over her?
I think it's a less than idyllic approach.
All right. You want to try it again without you have to?
Yeah, let me think again, let me review.
I would like it if you did, I would appreciate it if you did. You know what I mean?
Ema, I'd like you to try to forget about the dishes. Therefore, we would have some more time to talk. And it would be better, I think, for both of us if you thought about allowing more time to just talk and not worry about the other things. Yes, the children have to be picked up at a certain time. Yes, they come home. That we can't.
A little louder, so because we
That we
cameras here.
can't change about. Yes, the children have to come home at a certain time, and we have to be ready for them, or you have to be ready for them, and the house has food prepared. But we need more time together.
Again.
But
Say
we
it.
need more time together.
Very good. Switch. Again, take time to let it land. see the image of that person over there. Okay, and try to get into her, how she sits, how she talks, right?
Are you nuts? You know how much time I gave you? The laundry! The washing machine's done. I gotta hang it up now, and that's it. That's it. I can have my cigarette.
Switch. Now, how do you deal with a person like that?
I'm out of here. You're gonna have your cigarette. I'm going. I don't know. Maybe I'll be back before Marv. Always a cigarette. Drives me bananas. You could just have your cigarette. Don't tell me. I would know anyhow. But that drives me bananas. I don't know.
Okay. So
And that's it.
Have we got to an impasse here, haven't we?
Not exactly. Because there was things accomplished.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of dialogue.
Ah.
So it's a positive progression, but it's not enough.
Tell that to her now.
Okay.
Now listen to her wailing over there and try to get a word in edgewise, all right?
If you could just let us finish before your cigarette, it's very hard to talk to you once you decide you got to get up now, I don't know.
Good, switch.
It's been great, honey. I just love you. I want you to know I do everything for you and for the children, and that's it. What do you want from me? Enough.
Okay. It's hard to know where to go from here, isn't it?
I think we need a few minutes break for a second anyhow. Just I think we need another, to use my own words, some kind of dynamic shift or a different thing to start with in a minute.
Fortunately, we have this amazing process of the dream work here, and there's so many possible points of view that any dream, but it's a dream like this. There's so many possible dreams, and every one of these objects in the dream, items in the dream. You can take some grain of sand, and let's see what the grain of sand has to say, And everyone sheds light, a little bit of light on the evolving action, the movement of the soul, the spirit, and so we don't have to win. Nobody has to win. It's an ongoing process of discovering more and more reality, strengthening the ground so that the figures can get the gestalt. The figures can be stronger and stronger until somehow or other there becomes a way to do complete an action of some sort. Right now, it seems very hard to imagine how this action can get closure because the two sides are very much apart here, right? Okay, very nice. Well, how about I go over here again? You sit over there.
Okay.
After all these years of having this scribbling, I feel a little bit naked, just without my. But I'm relying on these cameras here. By the way, is that camera working?
It's working. It's flashing.
The second one working?
Yep. Yep.
I don't see the light. Okay, good. All right.
I'm very worried about this statement. That's almost a Freudian slip,
Red light about what?
Freudian slip. I don't see the light. I think you see a lot of the light. You have to be careful. We're this is being videotaped.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. We got to keep track of the time.
We have at least about 15 minutes, and then
Right,
we
here we
should
go.
stop so we don't run out of tape.
All right. Let's see now. How about closing your eyes? This is called the rhythm of contact and withdrawal. We've done this a number of times. Every time we get to an impasse like this, it's very helpful. A lot of times anyway, to close your eyes and let your unconscious, the void, the chalal panui, as they say in Hebrew, the empty space, let that deal with it. Okay, just close your eyes. And first of all, how do you feel in your body? Yeah.
A little tired, but that's okay.
Yeah. Where do you feel tired?
My shoulders.
Can't hear you.
In my shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a little bit of wanting to drop my center of gravity onto a nice pillow, blanket, and fall asleep. But that's just a small inclination.
No, it's a big inclination. How about we do it right now? Just do it. Here's the blanket. You want which one you want? That one?
No, that I think that'd be more comfortable.
Let's get the chairs out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
We're gonna play Sigmund Freud for a while.
Oh, I hope not too much. You know, he's not one of my favorite characters.
There's your couch.
We all know he was a bit demented, you know.
On the couch.
Maybe even a little bit frustrated or something. I don't know.
The cameras are on the couch now.
Oh, that's right. The other one, both of them are going to need. I'm going to get that adjusted to the other one.
Go ahead, lie down.
Oh, okay. Okay, the other one I think I'm going to disappear, maybe. No, further back, I think it's okay.
Okay, yeah. If we zoom in, now I'm zooming in on your fuzzy face.
That's very fuzzy.
Okay, I got you in focus there. And I'll go ahead and check the other camera. Okay, so just relax, all right? Now, the main question is, the way I see it right now is, do you feel we need to just turn off the whole system and to rest, allow yourself to rest for half an hour? Or can we keep going?
No, I think we can keep going. I mean,
All right, then take some time in order to feel somewhat rested, okay? And I'm going to move over here. And once you feel somewhat rested, go see if you can come up with a daydream, all right?
well, I have a bit of a question before I do that exercise.
Yeah.
We missed a lot of imagery in the first one. Do you want me to do another dream or any kind of daydream? Or?
Don't worry about it. I'm directing here, all right?
Okay.
You just be the guinea pig.
Okay.
You're the guinea pig.
Okay.
I'm the mad scientist, right?
Okay.
You got a PhD in biology, but I got, what do I got? I was in 14 years at 9 universities, you know?
I think that beats my record.
All right, so you be the guinea pig.
Okay.
Don't worry about the dream. We're just
I understand.
trust the moment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's the messianic now. You ever hear of that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You have a daydream?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Well, then share it with us. Well, now you can censor. Remember, you're free to censor.
No, there's nothing. There's no
Okay.
problem with it.
Now the question is, can you speak loud enough so the camera's going to hear you or not?
Oh, I can speak plenty loud.
Go ahead. When you're ready, start sharing what your daydream is. Okay?
I'm barefoot, and I'm wandering down some alleyways. I think it's a bit wet. There's some puddles, and my feet are mainly dry.
I'm over here now.
And I'm just wandering around. I don't think I'm really lost. I'm just exploring.
Yeah. Is that pleasant?
It's very pleasant.
Wandering around alleyways.
Barefoot.
Barefoot. Okay.
That's it. It was just simple. It was a simple few-second imagery.
Okay. So you want to stay with the image, and does it change or stay the same?
It's the same. Not a lot there.
Hmm?
Not a lot there. That's okay.
So what's pleasant about this image?
Just wandering.
Wandering.
Yeah.
In what way is that pleasant?
No set purpose,
Yeah.
and especially being barefoot. That's
Mhm.
something I wouldn't normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And the sensation of, a couple of sensations. The pavement being warm, and then the places where it's damp, the dampness and the cool of that. And just a pleasant walk, without any starting point or ending point.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Now,
simple.
if you compare that image with your usual life,
Ha!
well, how do they compare?
Like two extreme opposite ends of the spectrum.
In what respect?
I never just have time to wander, and you notice I use the word wander. To just randomly wander around, I don't usually have any time for that. I'm usually bent on a purpose or purposes.
You notice you said, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Could you say, I don't take time for that?
I don't take time for that.
Yeah.
I
Make sure you speak loud enough so the
I,
camera's going to hear you.
I go with purpose from one point to another.
Yeah.
I travel frantically.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of free time, or allow myself to have free time.
Why not? What's your objection to having free time?
I don't have an objection to it. I just overschedule.
Ah, say that again.
I overschedule. I do not have an objection to free time.
Uh-huh. So what is your need to overschedule?
A lot of times is driven by the pursuit of the ever elusive shekel.
Shekels.
Yeah, work, money, to pay bills, to try to cover bills, try to feed the children, things like that.
Mm-hmm. So apparently you set up a situation where you're like kind of like a rat in a maze and you got to keep going.
It's very interesting you use the analogy of a rat in a maze. The rat in the maze is also chasing after the shortest path to the cheese.
Yeah.
So I'm often chasing after the shortest, often most torturous path to getting good work, parnasa, good job.
I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but I'll just mention it. I have a strong association to that. You know the Nachman of Breslov stories. You know something about that?
I know, I'm familiar with it.
You know the one about the lost princess?
The one that's in the castle with the different doors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So God gets angry at and tells the Shekhinah, his daughter, to go to the devil. And she
Right.
disappears the next day, and the prince, who I guess is the Messiah, says, "I'll go look for her." And the association I get here is, as long as that prince keeps on the path, he never finds her. But the moment he goes off into the desert, without knowing where he's going, he finds her.
Right.
You see this? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something about going off the path, wandering,
Well, allowing yourself to.
allowing yourself to wander. The other association I get is with your wife. It seems like you and your wife share this need to be driven. Yes?
Oh, she comes from a very driven culture.
So we have two driven people driving each other, right?
Yeah, sometimes driving each other crazy, sometimes driving each other quite well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, how about we go back to the chairs now? I think we got what we need from this. Sit up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, my guess is we have about 5 minutes on the tapes.
Okay.
You might want to check that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You introduced a third chair. Do we have another? Are we having an id here?
Third chair? Oh.
Yeah, I wonder if we're having an id. Having a person here doesn't, just alter personality or something.
Okay, so go back to this, a little bit more with your wife, okay?
Okay.
All right, so far in our story we have relaxed, cool Chaim, Aaron Chaim talking to driven wife here. So how can we put in, now we have new input, but you're just as driven as she is, right? So now how do you deal with each other now?
Let's put a funny twist in it, and my smile is real here because I'm laughing at the actual scenario. Which
We
is
had an
very true.
impasse there, right?
Right.
She's driven and you're cool and collected, right?
Right.
Now we have
Now we're both driven. Yes.
So we have the two balanced it a little more, right? All right? So take a look at her and go back, continue the dialogue for a couple of minutes, all right? See her, where is she?
She's right here. She's right here.
She's here,
She's right here.
and like that, the way you did it before. Okay, go on.
Oh, wait a minute, the cameras are pointing down. Now you have to check the angle first
Ah, yeah,
before we
yeah.
continue. And while you do that, check the time mark on it.
Yeah. Where is it? Oh, there we are. Okay, good. I got you now and her. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Ima, the children are gone, and I have to get the chakras. I have to go daven. I have to feel with a minyan. So it's 9 o'clock, and 9 o'clock's getting towards the last minyan or two, and then working. And then after work, I have to make calls, and I have to check my email, and it's very important to me. Very, very important to me.
Now switch. Switch, be her. Go switch in the other
I
chair.
know. I'm just taking a moment.
So now, you just, Ema, you just heard what Abba said, right?
Chakras. It's always minions. What are you worried about? There's always more time for that.
You better tell the audience what chakras mean.
The morning prayers.
Okay, go on.
You didn't go early and come back before the children woke up. You could have done that. So you already chose to not be on time. What are you telling me on time? I'm the one who has the time.
Now notice what happened to your voice, Ema? Your voice. You hear that?
Yep.
Is that the way you always talk?
I think we both talk like that.
Ah.
I talk like that as Ahron Chaim, and she talks like that as Ima when we get stressed.
We get stressed.
We get stressed at the issues of time. And
Okay.
I'm sitting in a chair, but I feel like I want to talk from the other perspective. Should I switch chairs for a moment here?
Yeah, you can switch whenever you want.
Okay.
So you have two hysterical people here, right?
They're not yet hysterical. They're not yet hysterical.
All right.
But
What's going on?
she also has her time. My wife, has to have everything done between a little bit after 9 o'clock. That's once all the children are off at school and nursery school and the dust is settled.
Mm-hmm.
And for her to get all the household chores done and get a little bit of rest.
So it seems like you picked a good spouse because you both share the same kind of dynamic, right?
Yeah, but it's very funny. Americans
Yeah.
are not so boxed with their time. British are a checklist. Teeth, hair, socks, shoes.
So she does
Check.
it. She does it even better than you do.
Oh, very mental, but yes. And I mean mental, I mean as mentally. I don't mean as being mental. It's a
So
bad.
are we back to an impasse here?
No, not bad as an impasse. I'm trying to explain from my side. That's why I sat in my chair.
Yeah.
The understanding from her point of view. She has a very clear checklist of things that have to be done.
So it's like this.
A 2-hour window.
It's like this machine thing we did on the first tape, you know, where it goes faster and faster and faster, and the two of you together now running the treadmill together until finally something explodes, right?
Yeah, but usually things don't explode. Because in the first piece we did a few minutes, I said first piece, but the previous piece we did a few minutes ago, before she explodes, she goes and has a cigarette.
Now, if I remember correctly, you told me that you and your wife are very close to getting separated, is that right?
There were times like that.
Yeah. What?
There were times like that.
Is that happening now also?
Not really. No.
What happened? Oh, things are cooling off now?
I think they were completely overheated, but yes.
Ah. So how are you managing to deal with the situation of this incredible time pressure and to get.
Well, she tries not to have me bother her between 9 and 11.
Uh-huh.
And the only way I don't see it as a bother is we try to communicate either through texting or a short, very short phone conversation if it's good for me to come home for breakfast.
Uh-huh.
And she gives the 10 or 15 minute hot breakfast if it's good, if she's having a good morning. In other words, she's on her schedule.
So there, you seem to be finding a way to deal with each other.
But I want to finish that thought. And if she's not having a good morning, she tells me, please don't come home for breakfast. Or come home, but you're only going to have cereal or something, you know, be on your own.
So would you say things are heading now for a rather peaceful living? You think you might
More
live
peaceful.
happily ever after?
More peaceful.
More peaceful. Okay, very good.
And heavily, say it again, that's a
Happily
cliche.
ever after?
Happily ever after, like Cinderella, I don't know yet. The script is still being written.
But we see, at least we're finishing, we're getting to the end of the first tape here, and we seem to have a better understanding of the dynamics of what's going on in the relationship, yeah?
I think so.
A little bit?
I'd say more than a little bit.
A little more than a little bit. Okay, so maybe it's a good place to stop here. You know, we don't have to get the whole turkey in one bite, in one gulp, as they say, you know?
No, we have actually next week on...
No, I'm not saying I want to stop
No,
the
I
session.
want to make a
just
joke. I want to make a
this
joke
tape.
on tape. I want to make a joke on
I
tape.
want to say this tape, we're going to start another tape.
Of course, I want to make a joke on the end of this tape, which we
Yeah,
may
go
or
on.
may not keep. This year, we're really blessed. We can have our turkey and eat it too, because Thanksgiving Day in the American calendar falls out on Hanukkah, so you can have a turkey for Suda, for Hanukkah, if you want this year.